In war-ravaged Sarajevo, a Christmas concert for children. A chance to forget the horrors of 3 years of savage fighting for the city. In Montreal, Canada, more children from former Yugoslavia, refugees. These too must come to terms with the violence war did them and their families. They're encouraged to find a way to express what they experienced.
It means the kid is able to master his experience. So he might not recount exactly what has happened, but he's able to transmit something of the experience to someone else. Creating spaces where they can express themselves in a creative way, whether by storytelling, art, drawing, drama for adolescents, for example, is very important.
Many refugee children suffer post-traumatic stress and need therapy. Their paintings are nightmare illustrations of what they've been through. For some, there's healing and comfort in familiar institutions like the church. And there are signs that the slow process of recovery has begun. Some of the children aren't sure they ever want to go back home. They say they just want a normal life. Until recently, normal life for Palestinian boys in Gaza was as likely to have been stoning troops as playing football in the streets. But for the children of the Intifada, the fight against the Israelis was no game. Here too, the damage was not merely physical. Now the ragged army of stone throwers must learn to be children again. In the wake of Gaza's self-rule, they must accept the ways of civilized daily living. The Gaza Mental Health Program has been offering counseling to reintegrate such children into a more normal society.
We are beginning to be reborn, and we want this challenge of life. There is definitely that kind of feeling. You can see it and feel it when you meet children. There is the hope. But the history of trauma is so powerful, and it is not easy to forget.
For some, the gunplay they've seen around them is just a game. Others say they enjoyed the street war. In Mozambique, it was a different story. Santos Mabote, like many other child soldiers, had no choice but to fight for the rebel Renamo forces. He was kidnapped, his home destroyed. Now he's trying to pick up where he left off. But after 5 years in rebel army camps, he's back in the same class he was forced to leave.
5 igual.
Santos sometimes despairs of the lost years. He needs school lessons to get a job, but it'll take a lot of determination to stay the course. There are also constant reminders of the war. This educational drama is about the dangers of landmines. But while some children laugh at the play, Santos knows the reality. He may never be completely free of the horror of what he's seen. Santos's family say it was hard to communicate with him when he first returned, but gradually he's beginning to settle back into everyday life. The support of his grandparents has been crucial. They took him into their home and made him part of the family again. Santos helps with the usual household chores. He works in the fields and fetches water from the well. But he dreams of a better life. And he knows he won't be able to realize his ambitions until he's finished school and got a job. Thanks to the acceptance of the community he lives in, he's found the strength to persevere till now. But it wasn't easy. At first, an isolated figure, he suffered nightmares. And some neighbors rejected him as a traitor. It was this local Christian church, at the request of his grandparents, which helped him on the road to recovery. The rituals of spiritual renewal and the sense of community have combined to give Santos the chance of building a new, more positive life. In Laos, the grim heritage of the Vietnam War is still present every time the people go to work in the fields. Thousands of unexploded bombs lie in wait, hidden just below the surface. This mine clearance team has come to clear a school playground. Children born generations after the war ended are still paying the price of a conflict they never knew. The modest attempts at mine clearance are largely funded by foreign aid agencies, although it was the United States government which was responsible for the indiscriminate seeding of the lethal mini-bombs which now endanger innocent lives. In Chiang Kuang province alone, 50,000 hectares of valuable agricultural land are lethal because of these devices. But schools must be cleared first. Every year the bombs maim or kill hundreds of innocent victims, and many are children. At one school alone, clearance teams found more than 100 of the mini-bombs, 4 actually inside the classrooms. Boon May was injured in the fields. His arm had to be amputated, and he suffered burns to the face and chest. But with 50 major conflicts around the world and civilians increasingly targets, the United Nations fears more and more children will suffer a similar fate.